Welcome to Dear Business Coach, the podcast. My name's Elizabeth. Find one thing to move your business forward today with conversations, spotlights, interviews, articles, and free resources. Listen and follow and subscribe on social media. Dear Business Coach pages and groups. Dear Business Coach podcast. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and don't forget Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, anywhere you listen to podcasts. All it takes sometimes is one little thing to move your business forward today. Okay, and Neil Twa, welcome to the Dear Business Coach podcast. How are you today?
I am wonderful. Thank you for having me on, Elizabeth. I'm excited to talk about e-commerce and everything else we want to talk about today.
Well, I have so many things I'm curious about.
Okay.
First of all, what I do want to share with my readers and cover. Let's see. Whoops, where's my? There we go. Nope. Okay. So Neil, first of all, I want to introduce you as someone that we want to say the word Amazon with, right? But that's not fair.
It's one word.
Who is Neil?
Yeah.
Is that Neil? So what I know about you is that you're the CEO and co-founder of Voltage Holdings, and in short, a company specializing in launching, consulting, selling, and acquiring brands with a focus on e-commerce channels such as Amazon FBA and multi-channel. More than 15 years of experience as a selling private label products on Amazon and his company.
Absolutely.
So I think that we could go all the way back to before that. So you come to the FBA space as an expert. However, today I want to know, what is this world of private branding in relation to Amazon?
Yeah.
So, will you please introduce yourself
Sure.
and tell me where's Neil from and who's Neil?
Yeah. Well, I won't go too far back in the Wayback Machine, so I don't bore anybody. But long story short, I've been last 17 years or so. I've been focused on building offline and online companies. I left my job at IBM, fired the man, and moved on. As I say, burned the boats and left. Didn't burn any bridges, thankfully. I was smart enough not to do that. So later on, I had the ability to contract back to IBM and help them save a couple projects that were failing after I left. They're like, hey, please come back. And that's always fun. Got married in the same year I left and had our first exciting news about being pregnant in that first year. So many life changes year one of my adventure in entrepreneurialism. And that has changed, obviously, over many years into evolving through management and consulting, and trading more time for money. And then I finally got to the place where I hired more people to kind of multiply myself, force multiply. And then I got into agency marketing for lead generation around mobile ads. I was an affiliate marketer driving mobile traffic and cost per install and stuff that drives for mobile apps. Before mobile app marketing was really getting off the ground, I was kind of helping to get that going for some companies. It was a lot of fun and learned a lot about online marketing. And in that process, discovered something about affiliate marketing, which is why I don't do it anymore. And that is because I didn't own the end product as just an affiliate. When the brand product owner wanted to change something, I was just at the mercy. So I could put a lot of time, energy, attention, and money into building up a lead funnel and stuff around this affiliate product. And then they would decide they didn't want to be a part of it, or something changed, or they couldn't offer it anymore. And bam, all of that effort was gone. And I was like, well, this isn't going to work. So I went on the path of learning about private label and business, owning a digital asset or a physical asset, which led me ultimately to physical products. Because in my brain, it made sense, since I consume physical products and so did other people, maybe I could sell them physical products. And that was just the start of the, what the heck do I sell question, and which led me to really arbitraging products. You ever heard of wholesale arbitrage, or, shop your way to wealth, flipping products, these kinds of things, usually more of a side hustle kind of hobby thing. And I sort of did that a little bit, but I wasn't at a job or anything at this point. So it was more like a full-time hustle. And really, I was just trying to learn how to sell products, like what people wanted to sell in a physical world. I had done it in the digital world. I just didn't understand yet how to translate that into brand and business and physical products. And then I realized it's actually not that complicated when you borrow other systems and you borrow other audiences. So when I got on Amazon, I was basically borrowing their audience. It's their customer, it's their platform, but I could borrow that audience, that customer, that person who is wanting to buy something in 30 seconds or less. And I was like, ding, my marketing brain was like, well, how do I take advantage of this? How do I get in front of people? How do I make the traffic work inside of it? How do I get the products moving? And so we just started flipping products. Like we found some products online. We did some online arbitrage. We found this powder thing for it was like those ground up 97 vegetables and 20 tons of protein in a shake. And we found this one, and we had saw that they had like a 40% coupon. Maybe they were trying to close it out or whatever, and we bought like the 200 units they had left, and we put it up on Amazon, and actually we attached to their listing. It's a thing you do when you're just flipping products, and it's not really private label by any measure. And we sold out like really fast. We're like, oh my gosh, wait, we just made like 6,000 in profit. Let's do this again. So we went back to their website and tried to order like 1,000 of them. And then I got a call from their VP of marketing who's like, why are you trying to order 1,000 of these? Nobody ever does that. And I'm like, well, I'm here's what I'm doing. I was stupid. I didn't know what I was doing. So I just told her everything we were doing. And she's like, no, you can't do that anymore. And I'm like, well, you're not going to sell me the product? And she's like, no. I was like, well, just, give me a deal. I'm selling the product. She's like, no, you can't do that. We don't have that kind of arrangement. You can't sell our product. I was like, that's really short-sighted, and it pissed me off. And I'm like, okay, well, then I'm just going to go get my own. So we went out and started a supplement company that my partner had some relationships with, and we launched our first line of supplements, and then it just took off. And within 3 years, we had our first 7-figure brand. It took us about 3 years to get the first one figured out for us. And this was back in 2012. So by that point, we really understood the marketing, the mechanism, the physical product. My partner who I met, Reed, is very good at the lower level tactical stuff, the weeds. I'm not. He doesn't always like it, but he lives really well there. And so I get to be more the marketing guy. And we're like, hey, man, let's just try this together. And we did. And, that was 11 years ago. We've launched a lot of brands since then. We've gotten really good at multi-channel, omni-channel. Amazon is just, one channel, the Fulfilled by Amazon channel, FBA. But there's TikTok, there's Shopify, there's your website, there's Walmart.com, there's other platforms, there's retail, there's online sales and TV sales. There's a whole lot of ways to move a physical product brand when it's yours. And when you own it, you can control the outcome more. And that's one of the things that really created the whole business for us, is we can now control the manufacturing and the intellectual property. And we had a brand.
Are you a LinkedIn user? If you are, you can join me for LinkedIn Live Audio with Elizabeth every week, usually on Mondays at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I will have a LinkedIn Live Audio where we talk about podcasting for executives who speak and podcasting for team leaders who speak. These are the themes that are currently running. If that sounds like something you're interested, visit me, Elizabeth Walker at Work, on my LinkedIn profile.
Well, amazing, of course, of course. So the first thing I want to react to from your story is, okay, but you had a partner who had like access to, or inherently was part of a proprietary product, the blend of something. What I'm gleaning from your book, from your information here, is that I don't have to have a product, or you're going to be able to help me find what that product is that works for me.
Yeah, it's always the same question so many people have. In fact, one of my first consulting clients in the world of Amazon later on, because we kept getting hit up by people like, how are you doing it? What are you doing? How are you having success with this? And we get on this call, we go for 30 minutes, I'm explaining the process by which he needs to work this conditional training of selling. And he just gets to the end. He goes, okay, dude, I get it. I think I get it. But what the heck do I sell? And it just dawned on me that we needed a better way of translating what we were doing successfully so that I could help him. And so we developed a process of data gathering that would help answer that question. So we kind of took the emotions out of it and said, okay, we don't emotionally tie ourselves to any of these things. We don't marry any of the products. We don't marry any of this. What we just need to know is, does the data prove that we can sell the product? And so when you take the emotional aspect of it, you trust the data and the process, and the out comes a product, because you're targeting a specific, price point, profitability. And of course, the end relationship of that product to the person who's consuming it. It isn't about me, it's about them. What do they want? What are they passionate about? What are they trying to solve? What pain point do they have? And the product just becomes the transactional median of that exchange. I believe you can provide it for me. The product is what I'm after. We exchange money for goods and they get their benefit, right? And the same way you go to the dentist and try to fix a bad tooth. The difference here is that when we started to sell, we sold the low end tooth services to everybody we think we could sell to, and actually discovered that was a great way to run out of money. When
No.
we when you started selling product to those who are really solution and more brand oriented, they were willing to pay more and you made more money. And with more profit, you could pay yourself more, pay more people, build more systems, build more business. And by that effect, we could support the client longer by not going out of the business. And they love the product and they want more of it. So it's a really good symbiotic relationship. The same way, you buy certain shoes or you like a certain kind of purse or you drive a certain kind of car. That's the emotional connectivity to it. I don't have that. What I have is the connectivity to selling the product profitably in an ethical manner to ensure the quality of the product meets the expectation of the customer.
Well, now that is a whole different story than let me just get you marketable to get your proprietary product, or excuse me, your um, private label in front of people,
It's
right?
providing a
Because
solution that answers
yes.
usually three questions in the mind of the consumer. So they become emotionally attached to that brand and they want more of it. And that's really the game there, right? Is to really understand who that customer is, speak to them correctly, and ensure that they understand that. And that process of what the heck do I sell really is a data driven process of following the numbers, ensuring that it's profitable, making the product that we control and the manufacturing that's done for us, and then presenting that to the customer. Like, which one of these do you like? And we simply follow the sales data. The one they like the most, they want to sell the most. We make more of those products in different packaging, the same way Apple does the iPhone, iMac, iWatch, iPad, and then your husband has one or your significant other, and then your kids get one, and pretty soon you got 20 devices in your house that are all Apple related because you just pushed right across the bottom of the brand. And that's how we do it. We simply go down and hedgehog into those brands and products once we discover the data. The data would be how many people want it, what kind of ways do they want it, and how can we provide it to them in such a way where they feel most happy with us. And then we outmaneuver the market by out marketing them.
Well, that you actually are okay. So as a data guy, if I ask the next question I want to ask sounds like another version, and I could see how you might say again, it's the data. It's the data. Look at the data. That's hard for someone like me to grasp who is thinking about like the emotional connection makes sense, right? So let me ask that question. If you are concerned about quality and giving the customer the product that solves their problem, so it's something they expect and maybe some delight on the other end, right, when they receive the product. That sounds like not a marketing thing, but the design, customer service, and from top down, from design to the end user, how the
Yeah.
end user relates and has a relationship with the product or the brand.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like something I need to design, bake into the design of the product. And yet you are telling me that no, we can see this and fulfill the customer's wants and needs
They're
using data.
already in line. So the question becomes like when I ask who the heck do I sell and who do I sell to and what the heck do I sell, it's typically going to be how do I connect those 2 points together. And
Okay.
why I like to take people who are new and aspiring entrepreneurs interested in the e-commerce world to Amazon FBA first, while it has its big list of pros and cons. We'll talk about all those because I'm very pragmatic. I'm not an Amazon fanboy anymore than I'm an Apple fanboy. It's a tool and I want to use it the best way I can without hurting myself or somebody else. Is that the data itself drives forward that conversation in the mind because it's already happening outside of that ecosystem. It could already be happening in your mind as a need or a want or something your kid said or something your husband or significant other said. And they're like, hey, oh, I need this, or we're going on this trip, or we need this backpack or a school supply or whatever. So you already have that. And so you show up to Amazon with that in mind. And what you're looking for is the best price, best value, maximum point of value of return and delivery of the product and support of the product from the brand Amazon that happens to deliver 60% of those products from third-party sellers through their brand. So when I go to sell in the market, I'm looking to say, what's the demand that I can already capture in this existing market first? And from there, then I can spend brand narrative, brand creation towards packaging and the brand differentiation that builds the emotional connectivity. When that product shows up, they see the packaging, they use the product. Oh, what brand was this? Oh, this is a such and such brand. Oh, I get it. I like that. I want to see if they got anything else. And you put up your phone and you click and you're like, oh yeah, look, they've got all these other products. I might be interested in one of those. Or, hey, well, I bought this product, but here's the complimentary gear or accessory that goes with it, and I want that too. I want this product, and it's got a bag, and I want the bag to protect it. And I want to sell that bag to them too. So they keep coming back and buying in that ecosystem. Now, it is a system of automation for us because I don't warehouse the product. I don't touch the product when it's delivered. I don't handle the customer support for the product. I don't handle the returns for the product. I don't handle any of that stuff. Amazon does. So they created a system by which I leverage that ability to reach this 150 million customers who are in demand for that product 24/7, 365. And I simply get in front of that traffic and say, hey, what about this one? And by Amazon's authority transfer, I get the trust of a brand they've never heard of until they actually get the product. And then we incentivize them through other brand metrics. And of course, within Amazon's system, I can track brand and I can track market share so I can see how well my brand is starting to penetrate the market.
Right. I'm getting closer to it. What you're saying makes so much sense, and I'm really excited to hear you break this down. And you're a very good speaker, and I can follow you, and I have so many questions.
Awesome.
I I have actually a specific example in mind, and I would like to see if I can do this succinctly. This happened this week,
Mm-hmm.
and I won't use the name of the product brand, even though I was happy with overall with the product brand. It was a massage gun with
Okay.
a motor,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a brand I was not familiar with. The way it's packaged and the way the product came to me,
Okay.
it looks maybe like an independent brand, maybe if a family-owned brand or something that got their product to me through
Mm-hmm.
Amazon, and high quality product.
Cool.
And been using it for a few weeks, and then it wouldn't charge properly. I couldn't get it the charge to connect. And my partner said, well, he said, let me get into the warranty. I think there's a limited warranty. I don't really have time to look at it right now. Hopefully I can look at it this weekend. And then we were sitting together and lamenting about that a little bit. And we said, I don't even remember which one of us said, well, why don't we just send it back through Amazon?
Correct.
Because
There's an issue.
there's an issue. And so that was going to be one of my next questions
Sure.
was, how do you already kind of said it, is Amazon is the process. And so if I'm trying to I take advantage of Amazon's process, that sounds wonderful. They're handling those customer service needs for me. And so you are going to be able to help me see how I can also satisfy the customers. um,
Yeah.
that
So
is a
let's
big
just use that as
concern
an
of mine,
example
is
of
that
what.
second end of the
Yeah.
process.
So let's just
Yeah.
say, okay, the question that would become, of the what the heck do I sell statement here that's leading forward and all the other components of that question being answered. Could I sell one of these? Is someone else selling it? It looks like maybe they are. It could be another seller. It's clearly not an Amazon basic or an Amazon direct product. It's most likely a third party seller. The question is, it is a US based seller, an independent, maybe it's a Chinese seller. Based on packaging and product, you might be able to kind of disseminate some of that yourself just by looking it over. If it doesn't look like misspelling or weird words or just not correct phrasing, and usually it's going to be a US seller. A lot of Chinese sellers don't get the language right, and you can kind of pick up on the packaging, comes in a generic Chinese package, that kind of stuff, versus
Hmm.
someone who's working on their branding, and you open a nice box and you see the brand, it's very clear, and there's inserts and you feel like, oh yeah, this is a brand. I know the
Yes.
gun you're talking about in terms of their brand. I have one. And they have a nice package and a nice place to put it in. And so far in the last year or so, it's not broken. So returning the process, of course, is a support aspect. We can have Amazon either destroy that product, or they may do something with it if we give it to them, which is an option, or we send it back to ourselves and say, why did it break? we're going to have a reverse engineering component to look at that product and talk to the manufacturer and see if we can solve a problem so we don't get a negative review. That's what a third party seller would usually do when a product is being returned with some sort of defect or issue as the return. But for the product itself, the question goes, can I sell one? And at the end of the day, if someone else is selling one, then most likely I can sell one. So the difference becomes, how do I take a product like that, get it manufactured for me, and sell one in the market and determine whether or not I can sell it? And the first thing you have to really understand is the numbers. Like, is it going to be profitable for me to sell that product? And one of the simple litmus tests is to look at a product that's, say, $20, and maybe there's a $20 version of that. I don't know if there is, or a $49 version, and realize there's a $99 version and a $249 version of them, right? You may have chosen the mid to high version of whichever one you chose. You may have chosen not to go with what felt like more of the brand name one, and instead choose another one because maybe it's a price conscious, or maybe it was a feature difference that you like. Oh, this one has a feature, this one doesn't. And you know, I understand this is a brand name. This one over here has a feature I want to try. Maybe it's got a warming handle on it when you hold it or something. It's a slight innovation of the product. And like, I want to try that one. Maybe if it's not price conscientious, maybe it's not the $249. You're like, I don't want to spend $149 on this. I don't see the point in spending $249. Like, I think it's going to work. I don't have that much back pain, so I won't spend that much money on it. Right. The problem isn't as bad as you think it is, and you want to give it a shot. Right. Am I going to the brain space that you were asking here?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So the aspect of this, then, can I get a manufacturer to make one for me, and how much is it going to cost? And when I look at it and say, well, if I sold the $149 version at first level, is it going to be more profitable than if I sell the $20 version?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Common sense. What do you think the answer would be? Right? The answer is you'd sell the $149.
If you're going to make more profit, you need to charge more.
You're going to charge more. Yeah. Like, it's just like, there's some common sense rules we're playing along, and I'm playing with you. Please don't take it personally. But the end result is, if I'm going to sell a $20 one, there's a good possibility that after I have it manufactured and shipped and sold, common sense is going to tell me that there's less profit in it for me. If I have a product of similar nature made and designed, and I sell it for $149 to compete with a market of other products of $149 of its nature that I can see in the marketplace, and I may have even purchased myself, somebody's selling it for $149, so most likely I can sell it for $148 or $152. I can sell it right in that range too. So I know by first level common sense test that I could sell a $149 more profitably than a $20 product. You could even sell the same amount of the $149 as the $20. The difference is going to be in your brain and realization of the product that's selling and the demand for the product. And you might say, well, there's no way someone's going to buy 10,000 units of a $149 product a month. They'd buy 10,000 of the 20. Well, you'd be wrong. Because the data proves that that's wrong. There is a particular product we're selling right now for $450 that moves 10,000 units a month. Okay. Not my product yet. The product of our competition, to be very clear. We want to get it to 10,000 a month. And I know our competition is doing over 10,000 a month. So it's just a matter of time for us to go chickle their market share so we could get to 10,000 a month. It's setting there. And people are like, well, 10,000 units a month of a $450 product? Absolutely. When you see the scope and size of this machine that's running online for physical products across all these platforms, it's tremendous. It's into the multi-billions, right? It's into the trillions worldwide. So there is this huge gap between what people think is possible. And while I got to sell a $20 product so I can sell 10,000 of those, or no one's going to want to buy them, to the I should sell 149 because it's more profitable. The numbers at first level tell me it's profitable. And as long as it can be manufactured at less than 35% of the $145, I can make this profitable with Amazon fees and return fees and shipping and other costs of operation, including taxes that are going to be a burden on that product. Okay, down to what is called the net profit. After all that stuff goes in the net, what falls out is your net profit, what I actually get to keep. For us, it has to be more than $12 in net profit per unit, or we won't sell it.
Mm-hmm. It is very exciting to say that there we can look at the data and actually look and find where your customers are.
100%. Well, we built a system called the Greenlight Dashboard, which was a tool set automation VA run data gathering engine before AI agents kicked in, that we used to disseminate data from our accounts and from Amazon itself as much as we could to create as close of a what we call data integrity, as accurate as possible information we could use to judge what business products we would develop, how much time we would spend and how much money we would deploy getting them into market to test them out. And there was a variance because we didn't have a lot of accurate data because we were making algorithmic assessments. What we knew from our accounts, we couldn't see for other products because Amazon wouldn't give us that data until about 2 years ago. And they launched what's called Product Opportunity Explorer. And inside of that, we can pull up search results, competition, brand share, conversion, and metrics data and brand data now that gives us a very good insight as to what's happening in the market. But I've been in this for 11 years and we just got access to this a couple of years ago. So we have updated a system and developed a dashboard and a reporting system and analytic AI-driven engine that now pulls that data from Product Opportunity Explorer, uses our algorithms and information in our database, and then compiles a picture of a product. And in that picture of the product, I see what we call our voltage score, which is whether or not it's green, red, or yellow. With a profitability score, it's upside for the amount of searches, current market, and demand. And we get kind of a picture of what the heck do I actually sell, because the data literally goes green. If it's yellow, you're cautious. If it's red, you're no go. So we can literally sift through those different products and say, well, there are 5 variations of this product, but only 2 of them are making money and the other 3 go red. So those are the 2 I would actually focus on. That's what the heck I should sell. I'm going to make it profitable. And as long as I can have it manufactured good, I know the market already wants it. 3 things with 80% confidence I'm going to take to the market. And the 20% is when I actually launch the product. And I get the rest of the data back in that product that now tells me what to do next, how much more money to spend, and whether or not I even consider working on the product. One thing is for sure, I won't marry the product. I won't marry the product until it's spent more than 6 months selling at scale and profitability growth that I can see. And at that point, I might marry the product a little bit. But until then, no product gets married in our system. It is a test to determine how big and how fast that will sell.
Wow. Well, I wish we had this kind of test for other things.
Well, there are data does tests that everybody. You mean like dating or something?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
real
That's
estate? Like, what are we talking about here?
right. So exactly right. Just tell me what the best possible outcomes are. So you are saying that I can go into this dashboard, and
Mm-hmm.
you're saying that is what it is for,
Mm-hmm.
to look at the possibilities, plug in what it is I think I want to sell,
Correct.
and find out if that's going to work or
If you
not.
can even get it profitable or not. Yeah. And with real
Well,
data now that we get from Amazon, because they finally gave it to us, and data that we've compiled in our own database algorithms and our own processes, we call it our 5x5 product launch process. It is combined data in our experience and the system, because it's one thing to look at all the data and not know what you're looking at. It's another thing to be trained to understand what the data looks like. We call it the white car syndrome, which would be I actually see the data where I didn't see it before. The same way you go down
yeah.
and get a white car and then you're like, nobody has this white car. I've never seen one before. And then you're driving home and you see 10 of them. You're like, what the heck? Did the universe just magically move 10 white cars of the same exact time in front of my face? No, your subconscious and conscious brain switched gears. Okay. Subconsciously, we record everything we see here. It's our recall and our ability to cognitively pull that out, is where just different levels of intellect have abilities to do that. Not everybody's capable of instant recall or finding things out, or translating that into conscious thought as a daily, weekly activity. You can be trained into it. It's a conditioning. You can be trained to get your brain out of a subconscious recording and into a conscientious awareness. And that's when you experience things, that's when it occurs. So it wasn't the idea of buying the car because you wouldn't have seen any of the cars. It was the exercise of going and the experience of getting the car and driving it that moved your brain into a conscious awareness. That all of a sudden you visually saw what your mind was already seeing, because it's a super intelligent machine, already pulling in all around you, and you just didn't focus on it. And now your conscientious brain is focusing on it. And once you get trained into that, you really understand that you can sell anything to anybody in a box. Once you understand what it is they want, once you see those white cars, you will find them everywhere, and you'll have a new problem. You'll have more products than you can do in a lifetime, because you'll see every opportunity around you everywhere, and it's an exciting, fun adventure. And I love that because of my ADHD brain. So as we build our own product lines and think of new product lines and work with our clients on new product lines, I love all the different kinds of products that show up in all these different areas. Knowing they're going to sell and then watching them sell is a lot of fun.
I'm right there with you. Ooh, that's cool. Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And
Can
you
I sell
know that
that?
you've
Can I
done it
sell this?
before.
Well, we sold that. Not all of them are successful. And a failure for us is a product that simply does not meet. We can't get it dialed in. We can't get the copy, the language, the image, the graphics, the conversions right. The product is in demand for somebody else, but we just can't get it right for whatever reason. And we don't marry the product, so we don't find that to be like, oh my gosh, we're a failure. The product will sell. We just can't get it to dial in into the specific metrics that we expect it to hit versus other products and money we're deploying. And we'll just simply let that one sell out and then deploy capital into the other one that's working better until we find another version of it that sells even faster. So we will iterate that process. The idea that the emotional connectivity to this comes from, I think, the Hollywood documentary movies and conditioning of our childhood, where it's the if you build it, they will come thought process. It's the I
Yes.
need a super inventive process. I need to be Elon Musk or I won't be successful in physical products. And that's wrong, right? It's that I
Mm-hmm.
need to get on Shark Tank or I won't have any success. It's that I need to get on, television and no one's going to know who I am. It's that it's
Mm-hmm.
all these misconceptions and bullet point narratives in the mind of the, aspiring entrepreneur that's holding them back from even getting started. So they failed because they never started, because they think that all of these things are the truth, when in actuality, those are all myths. The truth is 99% of all products sold are just innovations. They're slight innovations on another product. Take the crock pot. I love this example. Crock pot, right? Your grandma's crock pot sets there.
Oh,
Okay.
I have one.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. But what's our major concern? We leave it running. We can't monitor it, and maybe it'll burn the house down because once upon a time in urban legend, some poor grandma burned her house down and died on fire because of her crock pot. Horrible. Everybody's got that stuck in their brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what did Instapot do? It just played on that fear in their marketing and went straight into the this is not your grandma's crock pot. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They made $1 billion company out of innovating features that solved the three questions of concern and fear and doubt in the minds of people who bought crock pots. And they sold $1 billion of them. So what did the air fryer companies do? It's just an innovation.
Yes, it
It's
did.
just an innovation of not a desktop, but a kitchen countertop cooking apparatus, device, whatever. It's just another variation of it. So now it's air frying. So you can air fry and it's cleaner and healthier and it's, natural this and this and this. And they just played on the, well, we're not Instapot. I mean, they just literally played on the differentiation and everybody bought them. I got 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. I saw another version of a new kind of air fryer
Right? And you're like, ooh,
tabletop
the
that
better version of this one, right?
yeah.
Cooks faster, cooks without you, like the next thing is coming, right? And so they just played on innovations, and innovations where your mind isn't needing to be. But actually, at the very beginning, you don't need to innovate. The R&D, or research and development process, is also a myth that people get caught up in as the, I need that unique product. And they spend so much time lamenting over the idea and whether someone will like it and what kind of features we're going to provide, instead of just testing the product and finding out what the audience actually wants and then giving them more of that. They spend all this time lamenting and building business plans and inventing things for years that never make it to market, and they fail at the process. Ask me how I know. I was an inventor.
Ask me how I know. That's
I
good.
was an inventor once upon a time. Yep. And then I realized innovations were the fastest way to make money in the marketplace. As I out innovate, I can create variations of any product that's in demand in the marketplace and go find out if I can sell a version of mine to 7 figures.
You have to be careful, right, when we say research and development may not be important. Or a minute ago, I was thinking about the passionate, entrepreneur, someone who's very passionate about their product and their process, and that in and of itself often leads to the money that goes into research and development. And you said 3 times now I've wanted to ask you again about marrying your product. You say you don't marry the product,
Correct.
and that is really hard to fathom if I am uh, getting into business because I'm passionate about something. I immediately want to
Sure.
get passionate about
Well, what are you
it.
passionate about? You're passionate about maybe the person or the outcome or the solution. Could be helping people, could be making them run faster or lose weight, could be helping them, in their kids' lives, in their family lives, and their, health and wellness. It's a helping aspect of that, which a product may be a part of solving that problem, right? So when I say no R&D for the first product launch, what I mean is we put out 100 units to test the market to find out if they want our product, if we got close over the data, and to validate that the 80% we knew going into the market, that 20% gap is filled. Now I have data to make decisions on at the next step. If the data tells me I was close, I sold the product, and I have an upside potential with my cash flow plan to deploy money into the next level of marketing and inventory, I'm going to do a little bit of R&D and say, what are the 3 things that we need to align and change in that product? And then I will make those changes with the manufacturer, order 1,000 units of that product, and then go back and sell it into the construct I already know sells. The images, the listing, the copy, etc. already work. So I'm just going to swing the product around to a more unique aspect. So we will R&D at the 1,000 unit level, but not before that. And we're going to use the customer and feedback information to tell us exactly what to do to the product to make it bigger and more in demand. And then we simply put those innovations in. They usually are 3 to 4 changes we'll make to the actual product itself. We produce 1,000 of them, and then we send them into the market as a full product launch. That takes us from revenue and testing into profitability. Profitability begets a 90-day cash flow plan, 1 quarter of business, to tell me how fast is the 1,000 units going to sell based on my original marketing data. I'm not guessing. I'm going out to the market and saying, this is the data I know. I want to validate it at the speed at which I can sell and grow this product of 1,000 units out to the market over 90 days. If I happen to get 1,000 sales in 90 days from my product, I got a ringer. I got a banger. I know exactly what I'll go order 5,000 units. You understand?
I like
now
that.
I know I'm going to put good money into a product that is selling, and it is now in growth. It is growth, optimization, and profitability that will drive me to that next metric. And that is where me, as the business owner, responsible, yay, entrepreneur, for taking the next level of risk. Yeah.
Metrics are helpful. Metrics are helpful if I have the help from from you to pay attention to where the metrics matter and work.
Which metrics matter are important. I failed over a lot of successful brands, lost millions of dollars in doing stupid stuff over the last 17 years, and made millions in doing it the right way. So I try to help people avoid the common mistakes that will be made in the experience and learning process of moving a physical product to brand.
I'm excited. Okay, I've kept you longer. So what we have today is a generous gift from you. So you are giving a few copies, 10 copies of your book. And so tell me where I go to get my book.
Yep. So there'll be a link in there for the free copy, voltagedm.com. I believe it's /free copy. It'll be in the link in the show notes and here and stuff, just in case I somehow messed that URL up, but I'm pretty sure it's /free copy. And you'll get a coupon code that'll be a part of this episode for the podcast. And then you got, for the first 10 people, you'll get a free copy. If the code doesn't work, I'm sorry, you're the 11th person. You can go over to the voltagedm.com, click on the book link, and you can grab a digital copy for $4.99 with an instant download. Or we can send you a paperback as well on the upside there if you want to buy that. And there's training, additional information, and materials that support more about what we're doing, along with a presentation that talks about our as seen on TV strategy that we developed as part of our process of defining products and market and mass market. And you're more than welcome to check that all out and see what we're doing.
And you know what, Neil, thank you. I'm excited to dive in here some more because you have actually gotten me thinking about some more questions to ask you next time. But first, I need to play around with what you've offered here today. So
here's what you do. Here's what you do. Anybody else listening, go to your Amazon app, because I know you're a buyer. You just mentioned it. Go at the last 90 days of your order history and start the process of what the heck do I sell by simply looking at those products and defining the first step of criteria. The first step of criteria is anything $50 or more. Okay. Because then we know, common sense earlier says we're going to have more profit if we sell one of those products. And then you're going to start writing it down. You're going to make a list. We call it the most list of products you can think of. When you start going through that next 90, 180 days, you just start writing them down. It's the exercise and activity that turns it in from that subconscious to conscientious state. So we actually have to take a pen and start writing things down, or putting it down on notes and putting it into an experience that makes a memory that starts the conditional learning. So anybody listening to this today can start building their list of product ideas, and that $50 to $150, $500 up there in that range. And then just start looking at the pattern of all the products you're writing down. And if you get to 200-300 products, you're going to find a pattern. in there. And it's going to be based on what we call a circle of confidence, your circle of confidence, your intrinsic value, your knowledge of products, things that you've bought, things you know are in demand, maybe things that your significant others, family, friends, uncles, cousins have bought. Usually you're going to find on the online channels in that price point, the highest demographic is women 27 to 45 in age. And they are the ones we sell the most products to. So there's your pro tip.
That's me.
Ta-da!
Okay. Well, wonderful. Well, I really appreciate your time today. And Neil, as you said, we have 10 free copies of your book
Ma'am.
with the coupon code in the show notes and the email newsletter for your
Yeah,
episode.
email newsletter.
Well, thank you so much, and I hope you have a fantastic afternoon. Talk to you next time.
Thank you for having me on.
Thanks.
Hey, listeners, don't forget to subscribe to email if you haven't already. Do this at dearbusinesscoachpodcast.com. And if you are a new subscriber, look for the magazine coming up. You can get a free download as a new subscriber. That's dearbusinesscoachpodcast.com. Thanks so much, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Remember, you are a superstar.